Love the camera, right?
Yeah, dude. What y'all out here to do?
Hey, I love the camera.
Yep. Good to meet you.
Arthur.
How you doing? Good to meet you.
DJ.
Good to have DJ. Come on. He came out of the bathroom back there with his hands all wet.
Hey, you got the pressure.
Good to have you guys here. Come on back, all right? How'd y'all hear about me?
You know you've been on my show, right?
Yeah, man.
Remember I interviewed you with Les Brown?
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to see you, brother. Where'd y'all come in from?
Oh man,
We came from Orlando.
Okay.
across the world, feel like.
None of it's all right.
Guys, welcome.
We got guys that flew in from Birmingham, guys that flew in from California.
Yeah.
Just everywhere. JJ flew in from Arizona.
So what do you guys do? I mean, what's the deal?
I interview people on my podcast. When,
What do y'all, how you doing? I'm Grant.
Gordon Bizarre.
Gordon, good to meet you. How you doing?
Antonio Edwards, how you
Antonio,
doing?
good to meet you.
My lady
How
Marissa.
you doing? How you
Marissa,
doing?
nice to meet you.
I don't know if I met these two guys back here. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Corey Moore.
How you doing, Corey? Good to meet you, man.
How you doing, Schizo?
Good to meet you, sir. How you doing?
Good. Jason Bizarre.
Jason? There's two bizarres in here.
Two bizarre. Daddy and the son.
They some bizarre people too, man. So what is the group? What do y'all do?
Well, a lot of people in here, you talking about you got the athletes.
Everything. So you know, I have creative people bring their ideas to the market. I interview powerful thought leaders that lead authorities in specific industries, and I publish that content on social media sites. You've been on my program.
Yeah.
I interviewed your lovely wife.
Yeah.
Naveen James been on my program. Jay Abraham.
Yeah.
And Jay Abraham has done a lot of business with that man right there, going bizarre.
Jay's a good guy.
He is.
Just used a lot of big words for me.
Hey, you like T.I. So you like T.I.
I'm like, why all the big words, man? I mean, let's keep it simple, man.
Simple is not my name.
Yeah.
I'm more of a complex guy.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm a simple guy, man. It either works for me or it doesn't, you know, so. Okay, so where do we start, guys?
Well, basically, we wanted to start with Cardone Capital, and I know that you preach that a lot in regards to people getting involved with that
Yeah.
type of acquisitions. So we wanted to, basically give them the rundown on that.
Yeah.
Let me show you guys the properties.
That relationship that way.
Yeah, so, and I wonder if I can, so what we do at Cardone Capital is, I'll just show you the property.
I'm gonna give them both properties.
Oh, you are?
Yes, so these are the two those we're putting into the fund.
So you know, on this concept of simple versus complex, the real estate is just it's a really simple business. It's not complicated at all. We buy big properties in great locations where there's renters. So my mama used to tell me, my dad died when I was 10, and my mom said, your dad said you got to buy your own house, you know, don't pay the landlord. And then I started looking at it, I'm like, I don't think I went back to her when I was like 30 years old. I said, I don't think you listen to Dad completely. She's like, yeah, you need to buy your house. Don't pay the landlord. Don't rent, own. I said, no, but I did you interrupt him? Because I think if you wouldn't have interrupted him, he might have said, be the landlord. And so that's basically what I've done. We go out and we don't buy one house at a time. We don't buy two. We don't buy three. We don't buy 12. We buy big properties. This one right here is 500 units. It's in the middle of Houston, Texas. If you've ever been to Houston, you've been to the Galleria. It's 1 mile from the Galleria. Whole Foods is right behind it.
Exactly.
It's $1,200 a month rents. The story's simple. It's always a simple story. $1,200 a month rents. If you rent, you're paying that or more. It's a middle of the road rent. It's not unaffordable for anybody. Like, you know, I mean, I guess it is for inner city Baltimore, but for Houston, Texas, the average person in Houston, Texas makes $68,000 a year. That means if I get the average person to live at that property, they make 5 times more than they pay in rent. That means they can pay their rent. We don't buy exotic stuff, we don't buy expensive stuff. But on the other end, here's a deal, some of you live in Orlando, you know that deal. Who lives in Orlando? Good. Ritz Hotel, across the street from the Ritz Hotel. Cars up and down, what's that road right there? Is that John Parkway?
John Young.
John Young?
John Young.
Yeah.
Like nonstop.
Oh, yeah, always.
Then I want to hook up my computer to that TV if I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Huh?
This is already occupied and everything, already built, you say?
94% occupied, 240 units, $50 million. Those two deals combined are $130 million.
140.
$140 million. So that's the kind of deals we buy. Now why do we buy those deals? Because if you go back to 2008, everything that went to foreclosure in 2008, 4 units, 2 units, and single family homes. I didn't lose anything. I had all big complexes. Okay, we actually had more renters in 2009 than we had in 2008, because people were coming out of single family homes, they were losing their homes, and they're like, I got to have a place to rent. People, remember in 2008, people gave up their homes, but didn't give up their credit cards. People gave up their homes, but wouldn't give up their Camrys. They're like, I need my car, dude, I don't need my house. So the whole world changed. I think this story, this thing, this multifamily thing is got 30 years in front of us, because I think America continues to become a renter nation. This is a simple story, right? If you look at automobiles, when you and I were growing up, you had to own your own car. People lease cars today. Highest.
You weren't growing up when I was growing up.
No, I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I'm probably older than you.
I don't think so.
What year were you born?
44.
58, sorry. You are missing. So.
But thank you for the compliment.
No, I would have bet money I'm older than you. Today we have the highest lease rates in the automotive industry we've ever had in the history of the United States, in the history of the automobile business. What does that mean? It means people aren't buying homes. They're not buying cars anymore. They're like, I just want to use my car. That means culturally, people don't have to buy a home today the way I was brought up to. Buy your own home. It's not happening. Okay, we have the lowest home ownership in the history of the United States. 63%. Has never been this low. At a time where interest rates were the lowest in 40 years. Interest rates are the lowest, and people still didn't go buy a house. Why? I don't need to. Huh? They're like, I don't need to. I just need a good place to live. So that place right there, both these places have swimming pools that you'd have to go to a $2 million house to have the same swimming pool. They got 1,200-foot gyms. You'd have to have a $4 or $5 million house to have the gyms.
So you focus on Class A?
No.
Class B?
No, it's like the location's always really good.
Right.
The size is really more important to us than the class. Like this property right here is probably a
B class.
A B. But the location changes everything for it. Okay, my next door neighbor's renting at $3,200 a month. The minimum house is $800,000, and I'm at $1,200 a month. So that's what we do. We don't over leverage, meaning we put a lot of money down to buy a deal. On that $50 million deal, the Murano deal, on this deal right here, we put $17 million down. I buy the deals with my money, and then people come in later and invest with me. They're like, hey, can we have a piece of that deal? So that's different than what some people do. Some people raise the money first and then go find out what they can buy. I'm buying the deal anyway. I'm invested. So if my brother or my sister or my mother-in-law or a client that I do a lot of business with, my friends, close friends, if they don't invest in the deal, it doesn't matter. I'm buying the deal. Which means I'm in. Paulie, it's all right if it doesn't work. I can just throw it up there. Yeah, totally. It's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. So that's all these other businesses here that we run are used to generate money and help people. And we do a lot of work with big companies. The money we do with like Ashley Furniture, which could be a $3 or $4 million deal, or Toyota could be a couple $1 million. We go in and train their companies, but any surplus money that I have left over from the companies or from my salary or whatever, goes to the real estate. Because I know I can, over time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, that money should grow as rents grow. And I'm trying to preserve my capital. I know I can't work forever. At some point, my legs get tired.
Sure you can.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, like if you play ball, you know that career ends. You play, you know.
Exactly, trust me.
Yeah.
It could end young, and it could end late, right?
Mhm.
So when you increase the net operating income, you increase the value.
Yeah,
to
what
the
happens
subject
is,
property.
as time goes on, right, so, I don't know if Susan's got the NOI from this month, but as time goes on, and the rents just pop a little bit, like the rents have been on like just straight up right now, but when they just start going up $50 a year, $80 a year, you know, next thing you know, dude, 10 years of that, the rents are up $800. So what I was renting for $1,200 at that Galleria thing, 10 years from now, we might be renting those for $3,000 a month. The price I paid for the property didn't go up.
Appreciation.
We don't even know if the property appreciated, but the rents went up. You know? So, and it's not going to be on TV tonight that the rents went up. They just went up. So,
So the marketplace dictates the rent rates and that local or geographic.
yeah. So you want to be exactly. So you want to be in cities where they're going to be here 10 years from now. Where I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, it's not there anymore. Part of town I was in is worth less today than it was 30 years ago. So you want to be in parts of town where things are moving to, because not all real estate goes up in value. It's just not even true.
Well, and the unfortunate thing too is if you look at the curve of the home prices, they're at the highest they will be when everybody can get reapproved for a loan. So what's the cycle going to be? Are they going to be there for 2 or 3 years? See, what we're seeing is the demographics, the younger generation, they actually want to rent because they want these nice swimming pools, they want the gym. The older demographics, they're actually moving to Orlando and Houston because look, Houston has the #1 biggest med center in the world. Guess who has a second? It's actually under development right now, but it's Orlando. So the older generation, they don't want to own a home because they can't take care of it. So one thing he's looking at the demographics from above and the demographics from below.
You got 80 million people. The chances you're going out buying a new home every day goes down and down. So while you might have more people coming into, I'm interested in buying a home. You have 80 million. The biggest demographic ever in the United States is the baby boomer.
It just got passed by the
Right.
millennials.
Right.
So, because us guys is dying off.
Yeah. And they will move into homes at some point
Yeah.
if it's affordable.
Well,
If they can get them up.
By the way, just to be clear,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even begin to replace my knowledge of real estate with yours. So the point I'm trying to get to is just the fact that there are trends and there are timetables.
Yeah.
And I'm just longing to know, is that part of the presentation here? Is it the
No,
fact that
I mean-
we looked at these things and they are factors, but we factored them in, here's how, here's why.
Yeah. Look, I don't even need to be full at these properties from the work. I just know if real estate is a good investment, then I want as much as I can possibly buy. And I don't want 500 homes. I want one address, 500 units,
In one spot.
500 people coming in and out, okay? All I need is 10 or 12 months from every person, okay? Every 10 or 12 months, they can all leave if they want to. It doesn't matter to me. So,
Question, right? I mean to cut you off. Quick question. I've been in real estate 9 years on the residential side. Okay, done a lot of transactions and stuff on that side of things. What's the good stepping stone to get to that commercial side?
yeah.
Did you
I mean,
start-
I would skip it. I would skip it and I would look to buy real estate, not sell it.
on the commercial side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would look at like we do, I just finished doing a show in here. Guy called up, he's got 14 units and I showed him he was gonna buy that deal and flip it. I'm like, I wouldn't do that, dude. I would buy it, improve it, go back and recapitalize it with the banks, don't over leverage it and keep it forever. It's a good location, great street, so like I would own real estate right now, okay? Like this is and back to this home ownership. In 1982, home ownership was the same place it is today. That's not a good indication. You know, it's not a good indication where a trend's going. That's a 30-year trend. You take 30 years, You know, you think there's going to be more people using drugs in this country or less? If you go back 30 years, you're like, oh, it's on the rise. You can have a war against it. You can put law against it. Dude, there's going to be more drugs. So that's not a good indicator. Now, if I take and throw on top of this, because it's a very fair question, if I take on and throw on top of this interest rates, you're going to see interest rates doing this. And the ownership didn't go up. Why not? It should have. Tonight when you go home, turn your TV on and watch for car ads. Watch how many say 0%, 72 months. Why? Why are they offering you no money? When you go through the airport and they're like, Visa card free, MasterCard free, get a free membership. Why? Because they want you to have that debt for free, man. Right? So that's how you encumber people. Those homes, by the way, those homes were not built for people. They were built for banks. Those were traps. The bank sat around and said, hey, we need to get a lot of debt out there. How can we do it? Let's get everybody a house. And the millennials are waking up saying, that was dumb what our parents did. That's what they walked away with. Mommy and daddy all hurt because they lost their house. Kids are like, that was dumb buying a house. But that's what all of us, how many of us were taught buy a house? Buy a house, man, buy a house. No. Buy a lot of real estate and let somebody else pay for it. So this piece of real estate here, 50 million bucks. I'm not paying for that. I put the money down to buy it. The people that live there are going to pay it down. Okay? So that's why we like that thing. It's simple. You know, there's not a lot of moving parts. There's no technology that can disrupt it. Back to this question about trends. There's no app that can get rid of this. You're never going to Uber rent. Cars will go away in the next 30 or 40 years. You'll be using less automobiles. I still need a place to sleep at night. I'm never going to be an NFL ball player. I'm just not fast enough. I'm strong enough, but I'm not fast enough.
What other questions do you guys have?
I have a quick question. So your real estate acquisitions is valued at $750 million, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
We have $750 million under management right now. Maybe short of that by $50 million bucks.
Okay, so
But it'll be there next month.
So to finance the deals, you use Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac products?
We use Fannie. I'm a preferred borrower with Fannie, Freddie, and we have life insurance companies that are like, hey, we want to give you money. I mean, people want to give me money right now. It's unbelievable.
Okay. So 90% of the bank's loans are sold to the secondary market, which is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
Yeah.
Now picture this in your mind. And what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do is they package that loan money up until what are known as government insured securities.
Yeah.
So would you recommend just to stick with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac or use another bank product to finance the deals?
I mean, we shop all the banks. We shop all the lenders to find out where the best deal is.
Okay.
So, you know, look, Fannie and Freddie both went bankrupt in 2008. So it just shows you this whole thing's just, what is it anyway? What are we talking about? Now everybody, the craze is Bitcoin. Okay, the point I'm making is all this stuff is the stock market. All this is pretendville. This is, what are you even getting? Okay, when you drive that property right there, that you're going to see a property. It's not a website. You're going to see 15 acres, 2-acre park on the inside, real human beings walking in and out. It's not an app.
Basically saying it's tangible.
It's real. It's real. I don't need to explain it to you. Drive the address. Drive this one. Sit outside the thing and watch the cars go this way and the cars go that way. And you're just going to see, man, the Ritz Hotel's right there. And it's all day long, man, all day long. Sooner or later, dude, somebody's going to pull in my parking lot and rent from me for 10 months.
That's a busy area.
You know, so I've worked too hard for my money to put it into something that I can't explain. I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. So we just want to be in assets. We're like, will that address still be there? If you live in Orlando, you think it'll be there? Seems like it.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I'll add too, as far as your question goes, the banks, the finance, like Fannie, Freddie, the life companies, the leverage is not the same as it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. So when Grant goes and gets a quote, before it was 80, 85, 90% leverage, so they would give you 90% of the deal. Now it's 65, 70%. They have to keep their health on their balance sheet
Yeah.
in the green, right? So it's big change.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, when you buy other, commercial apartments, do you like call the banks up and ask for the special asset department?
We never call the banks.
Okay.
So the servicer, we use Wells Fargo, we use M&T, and we also use Cushman & Wakefield, right? So we're always competitive when we're going in and searching out our debt. So those guys will then go to the market because they have a lot of relationships with the life companies, with the agencies, and they'll go and shop debt for us. So we go to the capital markets, and then we'll get quotes from that.
So
The problem is not the banks right now.
Okay.
The problem is even finding this product.
Finding deals.
Oh, okay.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in Orlando, Florida.
Good. Go to Orlando. Go to Orlando
Yes.
this weekend and see how many properties you can find there.
Just for
300 plus
sale.
units. You're going to see a lot of new stuff going on.
There's tons of
Yeah.
Man, they building.
side, new construction.
Yes, they just building in Orlando.
Exactly.
Tons
Okay.
of roads, tons of
But
buildings.
Orlando is one of the top 3 growth markets in the country. One of the top 3 job markets in the country. Okay, cost of living. The people in Orlando are like, "What's going on here, man? Dude, it's a good place for people from New York and New Jersey." What happens when California, New York, and New Jersey now get their tax bill in 12 months, and their state income tax is no longer deductible against their federal because that just got passed. So in the past, the guy in New York was like, yeah, we paid a lot of state taxes, but that gets credited against our federal taxes, so it's all right. This year it's going to be like, there's your state, there's your federal, bang, bang, you hate them both. And then they're going to start drifting down.
Yeah, straight to Florida.
So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac,
Yeah,
the Underwriters is your best friend.
totally. The underwriter, the bank is our friend. They're our partner in the deal. They're not going to let me get over leveraged on a deal. So when we bring them a deal, I'm like, what do you see that I don't see? What do you think about this deal? Okay. So when we called on this deal, on the Houston deal, I'm like, we go to the debt market, we go to the bank and say, what do you think? We love this deal.
Yeah, purchase
You go to
prices.
a full package.
A full, they have the whole deal. In this case, they already had the debt on the deal. We assumed the debt. I assumed the loan from somebody else. So it was already in place. And he's like, I like the deal $5 million more than you paid for it.
Yeah.
This deal, when we sent it to them, they didn't just want to give me a loan. They wanted I thought they were going to give me a car to go with it. And a vacation or something. They like it so much. I'm like, I don't want the car or the vacation. Just give me a better rate.
Well, we wanted to connect power with power. And, actually, Gordon, he lives in California now. So he knows that market very, very well.
Crazy.
So what was the goal? I mean, do you guys want to invest in Cardone Capital? You guys want more information?
Throw down millions right now. Just got
The minimum's 100. You have to be.
What bucket are you in?
Yeah. What bucket you guys in? Kicking tires?
No, what are y'all doing? Yeah, what are y'all doing? What's the game, man? The game we're playing today.
This the game that we playing, and then we have our athletes, that's in here. And, the percentage of our athletes, that's going broke is, it's pretty big right now.
Yeah.
And we don't want that to happen to our athletes.
Yeah,
we want that to stop. And having these people with the best people like yourself, and like I call him the most famous and famous person that you ever meet in life, and that's Gordon Bazaar. And he's helping all these guys, and Antonio also. He's helping these guys, build generational wealth.
Totally, man.
So as many people as we can, to get the word out, with our athletes, to say, hey, look, this is the way that you need to go. So you won't be that person, our former NFL players that's broke within 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, what's the number, like 70?
Oh, 78%.
Ain't going up.
78% right
Tom
now.
Brady's never going to be broke.
Oh, no.
Because he's got his wife.
That is definitely true.
I told my wife, I said, you can marry more money in one day than you can make in a lifetime. And if you can, you should.
So these guys, they they doing very well. They saving a lot. They got good, really money management. So that's kind of where within the athlete, because I was an NFL player myself, and just trying to budget, because a lot of people don't understand with an athlete. Once you get done playing ball, after the season, you don't get paid after the season.
Yeah, exactly.
So the money that you get, you have to really save all the way until it's time to play that next game.
Yeah.
So it's just having that residual income, and I like to call it, that's just bank money. Every day you're just coming in and just coming in. So when you get done with ball, you don't have to worry about it, and it's great to start right now.
Yeah.
So it's great to start right now, not after and just think about it and say, oh, well, I got to think about it right now. No, I'm trying to have these guys, and I know Gordon is doing the best as he can, because he, like I say, he's the most famous and famous person. But just having these guys, to make more money while they off the field right now than on it.
Yeah.
So the money that's coming in from their football checks, they just saving that, and they just making money off the field, and they using that, to do anything that they need with it. So, that's what we're doing, whether it be business, buying companies, whether it be buying apartment deals. So we want to do both, because both is very lucrative. So that's what we're doing for these guys. Like I say, he's one of the most famous and famous people when it comes to buying business, other than my guy Henry.
Dude,
Graff.
the best investment is the business that makes money.
Business,
Period.
business.
That's the best. I mean, I spent 3 months with a guy, sold his company for $30 billion. He walked away with $4.2 billion. He's like, Grant, best investment is a business that makes money. There's no manufacturing, there's no factory, there's no inventory. The inventory is the 500 units. And if I just take care of the people, make the property secure, treat the people good, then they'll want to stay there. And so that's what we try to do with these communities. The goal is to expand the portfolio to from the 5,000 we're in to 10,000 and then to 20,000, and it's going to be a really good opportunity for a lot of people to invest with us.
Question, for myself and any of the athletes that's in the room here, are you looking to joint venture if they have a deal on the table?
Totally, sure. Love big deals.
It's a great opportunity right there, guys.
Yeah. If you see a deal, a deal in your market, we'd love to help you with it.
Well,
I like
we
big deals. I
pretty much-
cannot lie.
I might steal that one.
Well, we pretty much want to do a collaboration economy with you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: have you seen and heard enough to make a decision?
Yeah. What are we going to do though?
Well, what we
Can
had
we
in
do?
mind, we want to connect power with power.
Yeah.
And we want to steer these guys in the right direction where they can tap into that pool of money with generational wealth. And Gordon, he actually started his career in private equity, and him and Jay did a lot of collaboration. So that's the same formula we want to do with with the athletes.
Yes.
Can I maybe jump in here
Please.
a little bit? Okay, good. One of the reasons that I happened to be in the room is that Arthur, some time ago, happened to hear an interview with you where you said you wanted to take your company public. And we tried to set up a couple of meetings with you, and for some reason they just didn't happen. It didn't work out. But taking your company public is a great way to leverage up the value of the assets that you have and the income streams that you have. And is that something you're serious about? Is it something you'd really like to do?
I mean, we want to do that with the real estate. I don't see me doing it with the Grant Cardone brand and the other companies. At least at this point, but the goal is to actually do that with the real estate. Okay. So we want to build this book of business up. It's the reason we started.
So is it something that you're ready for now, or you're ready for in a few years?
Yeah, we're probably ready for it in a few years.
Okay.
I'd like to get it to 10,000, at least 10,000 units.
Anything, anybody in the room that can possibly help you or something that you need, per se?
Look, my main goal here is to help people. So, I mean, the main mission of this other business, the reason I'm here today, like if I was smart, if I was just financially inclined, all I would be doing is looking at real estate every day. Because I want to help. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I grew up without a dad, and I know there's a lot of kids out there that don't have dads, and they're getting bad advice. So, and they want advice. I mean, how many times can you say, hey, help me? Before you're like, I'll do it by myself. And you can't do it by yourself.